The objective of this lesson is to solve tasks involving multiplying fractions by a whole number, including tenths and hundredths. This lesson is a task-based lesson and will have multiple solutions. Students will be required to use their previous knowledge of fractions to solve real-world problems. Imagine you are the head chef at a restaurant and you schedule a last-minute banquet for 16 people. You only have whatever is in your kitchen's refrigerator and pantry to serve the guests, and have written the available amount of each dish on a menu. Taking into consideration the serving size for each course, determine what you have enough of so that everyone in the banquet party receives the same meal. Explain your reasoning for each choice. Here is the menu along with the amount needed of each course per serving. The first course is salad, and there are 3/4 of a cup per serving. The main course requires 3/8 of a pound, and the side dish is 2/3 of a cup. The final course is dessert and requires 1/10 of a cake. Let's calculate how much of each course is needed for 16 servings. One way to do this would be to add the amount needed for each course 16 times. The salad course would be 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 and continue adding until 3/4 has been added 16 times, for a total of 48/4 or 12 cups. While adding each serving 16 times is correct, it is more efficient to multiply 16 times 3/4 for a total of 48/4 or 12 cups. Looking at the amount of salad ingredients available, we will be serving the house salad. The next course has the main dish and side dish. The main dish is 16 servings times 3/8 of a pound per serving, which equals 48/8 or 6 pounds. Looking at the main course options, we can choose either the barbecue chicken or the roast turkey. The side dish is 16 times 2/3 of a cup servings, which equals 32/3 or 10 2/3 cups. For the side dish, we know we have 10 cups, so now we will have to determine if the fractional amount of 2/3 cups is greater or less than 5/8 cups for the pasta, 1/2 cup for the grilled vegetables, 3/4 cups for the roasted potatoes, and 7/10 of a cup for the rice pilaf. One way to determine the amounts needed is with number lines. Let's draw 4 number lines to prove which dishes we will have enough of to serve 16 people. First, let's divide the first number line into thirds and highlight 2/3 to show how much we need. Next, let's divide the second number line into halves and fourths for the vegetables and potatoes. We will highlight above the line to 1/2 for the vegetables and highlight below the line to 3/4 for the potatoes. For the next number line, we will need to divide it into eighths. Let's highlight 5/8 for the pasta Alfredo. We will divide our last number line into tenths for the rice and highlight 7/10. We can determine right away that we do not have enough vegetables or pasta, but it is too close to see if we have enough rice. We will need to compare the two fractions, 2/3 and 7/10, using common denominators. A common denominator for both fractions could be 30. Therefore, the fractions we would be comparing are now 20/30 and 21/30. Yes, we have enough rice or potatoes to serve our guests. The final course is dessert, and it is 16 times 1/10 of a cake, which equals 16/10, or 1 6/10 of a cake needed. There is 1 1/2 of chocolate cake, 1 7/10 of New York cheesecake, and 1 2/5 of strawberry shortcake. Let's start with the chocolate cake. In order to compare 1 1/2 to 1 6/10, we need to find common denominators for the fractional portions. The denominator for 1/2 is 2 and can be turned into 10 by multiplying by 5. Multiply the numerator and denominator by 5 to generate an equivalent fraction of 5/10. There is 1 5/10 chocolate cake. 1 5/10 is less than the 1 6/10 cake needed, so chocolate cake cannot be served. The next cake is New York cheesecake, 1 7/10. 1 7/10 is more than 1 6/10, so yes, there is enough cheesecake. Finally, strawberry shortcake. There is 1 2/5 of the strawberry shortcake. In order to compare it to the 1 6/10 needed, a common denominator will need to be found. The denominator in 2/5 can be turned into tenths by multiplying by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10. 1 and 2/5 is equivalent to 1 and 4/10. 1 and 4/10 is less than 1 and 6/10 needed, so there is not enough strawberry shortcake. The only cake available to serve all 16 guests will be the New York cheesecake. Students can use a variety of strategies to solve for all the menu items and then determine the menu they will use at their party. The objective for this lesson was to solve a task involving multiplying fractions by a whole number, comparing fractions, including tenths and hundredths. We met this objective by determining if there was enough servings in order to accommodate 16 guests for a banquet. We compared the amount needed for each menu item and then compared to the amount we had available by generating equivalent fractions with common denominators and using number lines.